Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the idea of writing a personal narrative, or if you're just wondering what on earth the instructor is actually looking for, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to totally demystify your very first major assignment, the narrative of meaning. We're going to transform how you look at writing about your own life experiences, moving you from just telling a story to actually discovering what that story means. Let's get right to it.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting the core mission, finding that meaningful moment, crafting scenes in voice, the heart of it all, which is reflection, common pitfalls to avoid, and the final polish.
Okay, starting with Section 1, the core mission.
The absolute most crucial thing to understand here is that you are not just handing over a timeline of events, right? You're not a reporter stating the cold, hard facts of what happened to you on some random Tuesday 5 years ago. Actually, your core mission is meaning-making. This assignment asks you to look backward to figure out something deep about your present. You are actively interpreting your past. It's about how your reflection, your current perspective, and the deliberate storytelling choices you make take a basic memory and transform it into something universally meaningful.
So, before you type a single word, you've got to ask yourself this foundational question. Why does this memory stay with me? Seriously, use that to anchor your entire brainstorming process. Alongside it, ask yourself, what actually changed because of this experience? What do I get right now that I totally missed back then? If you can't quite answer why the story matters enough to tell it, well, you just haven't found the heart of your narrative yet.
Moving right along to Section 2, the meaningful moment.
Okay, let's lower the stakes immediately here. It is so common to feel this massive pressure to invent or maybe exaggerate some big tragedy, just because we think a narrative has to feel like a Hollywood blockbuster. But listen to me on this. Your topic does not need to be shocking or traumatic or highly dramatic to be incredibly powerful. In fact, this assignment is actually looking for honesty, intentionality, and rich detail, way more than it wants explosions or crazy plot twists.
Honestly, some of the absolute best essays emerge from these beautifully ordinary, maybe even unresolved, quiet moments. Think of a simple family tradition, or the heavy weight of silence in a specific conversation. Consider a classroom experience, or the really complex feeling of outgrowing a childhood friend. The best narratives come from these little moments that just keep echoing in your life long after they happened. Pick an experience that means something emotionally to you, even if it seems totally mundane to the rest of the world. All right, Section 3. Crafting scenes and voice.
When you actually sit down to draft, keep this golden rule in mind. Good narratives place readers inside moments, rather than just explaining them. Your authentic, vulnerable, first-person voice is a real game-changer here. Yes, you absolutely must use the word I, and please, avoid sounding like a formal robot. We want a real human voice. Your ultimate goal? Total reader immersion. Don't just tell us what happened from a mile away. Drag us right into the room with you using concrete sensory details.
To put that into perspective, if you just write, "I was nervous," well, that's just a summary. It's totally detached. Instead, imagine showing us shaking hands, completely avoiding eye contact, rehearsing words over and over in your head, noticing tiny little details in the room while the silence just stretches on way too long. Do you feel the difference there? That is what we call scene immersion. You're using body language and internal thoughts to let us feel the nerves right along with you visually and emotionally.
Now, another fantastic tool for that immersion is dialogue. Just a quick heads up, dialogue is completely optional for this assignment. But if you do choose to use it, make sure it's doing some heavy lifting. Good dialogue builds tension, it shows off the hidden quirks of a personality, and it actually physically slows down the pacing of the essay during a really vital moment. Just keep it sounding natural. Definitely avoid those massive, unrealistic paragraphs of speech where characters are just dumping information. Keep it sharp, selective, and highly intentional.
That brings us to Section 4, the heart, reflection.
Reflection is literally the beating heart of this essay. It's the whole shebang. It is what takes the diary entry and turns it into a polished narrative essay. Without this crucial ingredient, you just have a list of things that happened. First I did this, then I did that. And that will completely lack any intellectual or emotional depth. The reflection part is where the current, older you steps onto the page to help us understand what this memory means today, what you learned, or honestly, what beautifully remains unresolved.
But hey, quick warning here. Stay far, far away from those simple, moralistic bumper sticker conclusions. Wrapping up a complex life event with, well, everything happens for a reason, or this just made me stronger, feels kind of generic, right? Almost rushed. Instead, aim for genuine complexity and honesty.
Lean into the gray areas. Talk about how your memory of the event has shifted over time, or just admit that you still don't have all the answers. Earned reflection is specific, and it's deeply thoughtful.
Now, as you weave that reflection into your scenes, you have total freedom with how you structure time. You can write chronologically, sure, but you could also drop us right into the middle of the action, use fragmented pieces, or move associatively, linking your memories by theme instead of strict time. But remember, freedom doesn't mean randomness. Your movement has to be purposeful. If you're jumping back and forth in time, you need rock-solid transitions so we don't get lost. Ask yourself, why is this specific structure the absolute best way to tell this particular story?
Moving to Section 5. Common pitfalls.
Let's quickly flag a few classic traps so you can dodge them right from the starting line. First up, trying to cover your entire life story. Just don't do it. Keep your focus incredibly narrow on one meaningful experience. Second, treating the essay like a dry timeline, instead of building those vivid scenes. Third, over-explaining. You just did the hard work of building a great scene, so trust us to interpret the emotions without you spelling it out. And lastly, please don't treat this final submission like a panicked 11:59 p.m. rough draft. Give it the time it truly deserves.
And finally, Section 6. The final polish.
To hit that 1,000 to 1,200 word sweet spot successfully, you have to really, deliberately revise. And I don't just mean fixing commas. I'm talking about checking the pacing. Are you rushing through the most important moments? Does every single section and sentence actively contribute to the overall meaning? Take a breath. Deepen the emotional resonance. Smooth out the rhythm of your words, and make sure your transitions between past and present are absolutely seamless.
Also, you'll want to etch this critical deadline into your brain. Your fully polished, carefully revised 1,000 to 1,200 word essay is due on Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026 by 11:59 p.m. Do yourself a massive favor and give yourself plenty of time before that date to draft it, walk away for a bit, and then come back to revise with fresh eyes.
There's this fantastic quote from the syllabus that just hits the nail on the head. This essay is about meaning-making. You are not only remembering an experience, you are interpreting it. That literally sums up everything we've talked about today regarding the true nature and expectation of this assignment. You are doing the vital work of interpretation, taking the raw material of your lived experience and forging it into actual insight.
So, as you sit down to brainstorm and kind of sift through those quiet, echoing moments of your life, I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. How are you going to transform your past into something that resonates deeply with us right now? What will your memory mean today? Good luck with the writing, and we seriously can't wait to see the narratives you build.